Welcome to the Save Our Sperrins campaign, Voices from the Frontline. I'm Morella Fife, your host and a member of the Save Our Sperrins team. At the heart of this struggle are the voices of local people, farmers, families and young campaigners whose homes, work and families are rooted in this place. Their voices are joined by supporters from across the world, standing in solidarity, from professors to artists, from those offering vast expertise to those whose presence alone is an act of support. All have stood with us. In this series, we share stories of resistance, resilience, and hopes from those determined to protect these mountains, their land, their rivers, the very air they breathe, and their community. Let's get started. In this episode, I'm bringing you an important update from the campaign. Yesterday, the Fermanagh and Omagh District Council Planning Committee made a decision on two Dalradian applications, requests to delay restoration of their sites until 2025. These were permissions that were only ever meant to be temporary, granted back in 2014, with restoration due by 2020. What happened yesterday could mark a real turning point, a refusal that puts restoration back on the table and challenges Dalradian's attempts to drag this process out year after year. Stay with me as I take you through what unfolded, why it matters, and what comes next. Hello everyone. Yesterday's meeting at the Fermanagh and Omagh District Council Planning Committee ended with both of Dalradian's applications being refused. These were attempts to stretch out permissions that had already expired, and the decision sends a clear message: restoration cannot be delayed any longer. Dalradian sent in a panel of 6 representatives, and what stood out was how often they tried to play down their activities. They kept using words like small and miniscule, which sits in stark contrast to all the propaganda about this supposedly massive world-class project. At one point, they even claimed that an explosive store somehow fits with the character of the Glen. You can imagine the reaction in the room. What was also striking was that when councillors laid out the long list of failings in the original planning permission, not one of Dalradian's 6 stepped in to challenge or correct it. The silence spoke volumes. This refusal matters. It means restoration is required, and the enforcement notices issued in August will now take effect unless Dalradian appeals. For the community, this could finally be the beginning of seeing parts of the Sperrins restored rather than endlessly delayed. Of course, the politics were on show as well. Some Ulster Union councillors argued Dalradian should be given more time. SDLP councillor Bernard McGrath admitted he wasn't familiar with the site despite representing Mid-Tyrone for 2 years, and even proposed a Dalradian site tour himself last year. All of this shows how far some local representatives are from the reality their communities are living with. But yesterday, the majority of councillors voted with the people, and that deserves real thanks. I want to finish by acknowledging the years of work that went into this decision. Messages of support poured in yesterday, and none of that goes unnoticed. A special word of thanks goes out to our own Cormac McAleer, who has carried this case for over a decade. Cormac, yesterday was for you. If you want to see the meeting yourself, you can find the recording on the council's YouTube page, and I'll link it in the notes. That's all for now. We'll keep you updated as things move forward. For the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the soil we grow from, together we hold the line. You've been listening to the Save Our Sperrins podcast, Voices from the Frontline. Thank you for joining us today. All the links you'll need from campaign updates to our social media pages, as well as links shared by today's guests and resources mentioned in the conversation, are available in the show notes. Please take a moment to share this podcast with friends, neighbours, or anyone who cares about protecting our land and communities. And don't forget to hit the follow button on your podcast platform. It really helps the algorithm spread these voices further. Together, our voices are stronger. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep standing with the land, the water, the air, and the people who protect them.